Coming to your neighborhood, lower interest rates. In our Money Crunch reports, how to beat the credit card blues. And a crackdown on food makers. The label story. Coming up. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting tonight from Washington. Good evening. President Bush and Vice President Quayle say there is no recession. But Americans hurt by what they believe is a recession are demanding action, and today they got some. One day after a Republican defeat in Pennsylvania, the Federal Reserve moved to pump more cash into the economy. CBS News correspondent Bruce Morton has our report.
The Federal Reserve Board lowered its discount rate again from 5 to 4.5%, the lowest in 18 years. Commercial banks followed, lowering their prime rate from 8 to 7.5. The aim is to perk up the economy, get investors to invest, consumers to spend. Expect interest rates for homes to come down further. But the Fed cut the rate last December, and again in February, and again in April, and again in September, and the recession continued. Will this fifth cut in 12 months work any better?
The U.S. economy remains in recession, and if anything, things look like they're about to get worse. So that this latest easing is a further demonstration of the Fed being behind the learning curve.
Political consultant Eddie Mai links the sluggish economy to the voters' gloomy mood.
There's just no good news out there, Bruce. There's just repetitive bad news, and I think that's tending to seep into the psyche of the American public today.
And there are real economic problems. Consumers worried about keeping their jobs don't want to spend. Banks who have shaky old loans on the books may not want to make any kind of new loans. Some banks have failed.
People are afraid for their own jobs, and when they're afraid, they're not going to go out and make a big-ticket discretionary purchase like a car or a house or household furnishing.
We're moving into the Christmas selling season, which promises to be dismal, and that will cause further declines in employment and hiring in general and in spending.
It's not that anyone thinks what the Fed did today will make things worse, just that they don't think it will make things very much better. Bruce Morton, CBS News, Washington.
So the banks will now get even cheaper money, but the banks themselves are showing absolutely no interest in cutting credit card rates. But there are ways you can save real money on your plastic. Business correspondent Ray Brady shows us tonight in The Money Crunch, Making It in America.
There are almost as many of them as there are of us. Nearly one credit card in circulation for every man, woman, and child in the United States. 225 million credit cards. But how much do we really know about those pieces of plastic we depend on so much? At a time when most interest rates are falling, including the rates that banks pay to savers, credit card interest rates remain sky high, and some users are irate.
As the man from Florida once said, come on down. And that's what they should do. Come down with all their interest rates and their fees.
It's very profitable for them to have 200 million Americans at 19% interest forever.
The banks say they need high rates. They lose $6 billion a year to credit card deadbeats and bankrupts. But there's a way you can avoid paying for the bank's losses. Simply switch your credit cards to financial institutions charging lower rates. They're out there. Just consider this threesome. The Cowlitz Bank of Longview, Washington will issue you a card with a fixed rate under 14%. Prime Bank of Elkhart, Indiana, fixed rate under 13%. Simmons First National Bank of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 10% variable rate. Is it worth it to shop around? You bet it is. If you're the average American, you've got 4 credit cards. If you've got a balance of $1,000 on each of those cards and you cut the interest rate from 19 to 14%, you'll save a couple of $100 a year. And these are times when every penny counts. Then there's the biggest user gripe of all.
The annual fee really bothers me. That's really the thing that bothers me.